not just stick your head in a garbage can or something?
'Cause then I'd have to room with you.
Last episode, we got to meet...
How's my hair?
Bill Myers. Yeah, we know, he sucks. But in case you didn't know who he is, he created McGee and Me. That got me thinking, why not do a review of an episode of McGee and Me? So that's what we're gonna do. Now, you are probably not wondering how I picked this particular episode. Well, dear viewer, this is the reason I picked this episode. That is a sight to behold, but we'll get back to that in a bit. Let's take a minute and talk about the history of McGee and Me. Now, from the article on Wikipedia, which I'm about to plagiarize, the series was created by Ken C. Johnson and our good old pal, Bill Myers. The series premiered on June 4th, 1989, spanning 12 episodes until its conclusion on June 11th, 1995. Each half-hour-long episode centers on Nicholas, his cartoon friend McGee, and the moral lessons that they learn as Nick grows up after moving to a new town. Here's a tidbit. Did you know that this shit used to air on ABC? I had no idea either. Apparently, it aired with commercials and specific Christian references removed. Who the hell would watch this?
I would.
Bet you'll never guess who bankrolled this particular show. Yeah, these nutbags. The anti-gay, anti-anything not Christian guys. Founded in 1977 by Captain Dickhead himself, James Dobson. The same man who said you should beat your dog and your child. That way, you'll go to heaven.
It's Sunday, Sunday, heading to church on Sunday. Everybody's looking forward to the service starting. Sunday, Sunday, celebrating Sunday. Everybody's looking forward to the service starting.
So, you can imagine that this video doesn't stray too far from his warped, fucked up beliefs. With that, I'm done bandstanding. Let's move on with the review. The show starts with the opening credits, and we are introduced to our main character, Nick. We see him busily drawing, and this happens. That's not much acting range, kid. He looks shocked, but not at all. I would say he's pretty blasé for just witnessing a drawing coming to life. But this does raise a lot of questions. Nick definitely created McGee, so is he his father? Or is Nick his god? No, that's not correct either, because McGee is a Christian too, so there's no way that Nick could be his god. And I would argue that he's not his father either, because they act like really close friends or brothers, which is just a little bit confusing and weird. I guess the producers of this show never thought that people on the internet would deconstruct their work, but that's what we do. Barely a second goes by without a Christian reference, just in case you were confused with what you were watching. Holy shit, is that a Bible or a phone book? That thing looks like an original Gutenberg Bible. That thing is huge. You know it's a bad sign when the video's already hitting you over the head with its message. It's barely a minute in, but here it is.
Don't copy the behavior and customs of this world. Stop loving this evil world and all that it offers you. For all these worldly things, these evil desires, these are not from God.
This is how every episode of McGee and Me is. Talk about something related to a narrow Christian view of the world and then watch Nick fuck up and fail. This episode's lesson is to not give in to the temptations of this so-called evil world. And Nick does just that, and hilarity ensues.
It's not fair. Everybody else gets to go see it, but I have to sit around with a bunch of
Nicholas!
That's it. Now, you don't talk that way in this home. Go to your room. You're grounded.
During the following cartoon segment, we get to see our buddy McGee entering the Tower of Babel.
away, and these evil, forbidden things will go with it.
Get it? Because I don't. The story of Babel is about how humanity came to speak different languages. True, in the story, they were trying to build a tower to heaven. So God gets angered by this and causes everyone who spoke one language to speak several different languages, thus explaining why everyone in the world speaks a different language. So what the fuck does this have to do with anything?
Nothing.
That's what I thought. We see McGee being thrown from the tower when all of a sudden he's wearing Michael Jackson's Beat It clothes. Like, what? Look, I get that they're trying to be cute with this whole parody thing, but they really need to leave it to the experts. Like the guys who wrote Naked Gun or Sledgehammer. They have talent. You know who doesn't have talent? Bill Myers.
Now, when that happens, well, keep in mind that you're not some sort of pimple on the face of humanity. Maybe a minor blackhead, but definitely not a pimple.
Now that 3 minutes of time has been wasted with that stupid cartoon, we can finally get into the episode. And we get to meet Nick's friend, Lois, who is in a very unfortunate getup.
The blue box, no sign of alien encounter yet.
Keep your eyes peeled.
I guess so is Nick.
Whoa, set phasers on massacre. Roger, blue box.
Phasers have a massacre setting? Holy shit, that's deadly. Could you imagine how much more accurate stormtroopers would be if they had a massacre setting?
I know this looks kind of strange.
Yeah, it's strange, but is it any more strange than this?
The cane, Igor.
Let's break this down. They are running and shouting and shooting at a football. I see no problem here. This happens at least 5 times a day in my neighborhood. Note the sarcasm.
But Lois and I figured if you have to be a kid, you might as well act like one.
At least Nick and I can agree on something. I think if more adults would take this to heart, the world might be a better place. The first of many Spaz attacks to come.
Spaz attack.
In case you didn't know, Nick is the only one who can see McGee. Case in point.
A valiant effort, Earthling. But that was only a 3-dimensional projection of my pod.
Cheater!
What? Nicholas, come on in. It'll be getting dark soon.
But Mom!
Come in now.
Getting dark soon?
Sometimes it seems like Mom lived in a different time zone.
The No Fun League. Yes, it will be dark soon. It looks barely past noon. What the fuck is her malfunction? What is she, Torgo?
Nicholas?
It will be dark soon. There is no way out of here.
Seriously, Nick's response should have been,
Nicholas? Come on in. It'll be getting dark soon.
Hey, fuck you, ball buster!
all joking aside, what is her problem? The kid is outside the front of the house with his best friend. What the hell is she worried about? Do you know what this reminds me of? This.
Where are you going?
I just have to stand out in the rain.
Okay. Okay, you stood out in the rain.
I didn't get wet yet.
Well, I don't want you to get soaking wet. Victoria, turn around and go back inside now, thanks.
It's the exact same thing. Overzealous parents who don't let their kids be kids. That's why later, Nick lashes out by sneaking out of the house because his parents are controlling freaks.
Getting dark soon?
Thank you, dear Lois. That might be the best way to sum up that scene.
Let me in! It's getting dark! It's getting dark!
That would be Spaz attack number 2, kids.
Spaz attack.
But I have to admit, I love Lois. He's a snarky kid who calls out all the bullshit. I mean, look at it from his perspective. He has no way of understanding the life that Nicholas has to live. From what we learn about Lois, we assume he leads a pretty normal life with parents who let him actually do things. Honestly, if this was any other show, I bet that Lois would be the main character, not Nick. This would be the special episode that explores Nick's messed up home life. Let's be real. Nick has a cartoon friend that only he can see. If that doesn't scream, I need attention, I don't know what does. Or we could take the easier road and believe that a boy drew something and then came alive and only he can see it. You tell me which is crazier.
Hey, check it out! Night of the Blood Freaks Part 4 starts tomorrow in 3D.
Aw, no kidding?
Can you believe that we're 5 minutes in and we're only now just getting the plot of this stupid thing? I will say, for me personally, I actually like the first two much better. I think that Part 3 is a little overrated. I thought that the character development in the first two was much better. But in all seriousness, does this sound like a movie that anyone would actually go see? You know what? I take that back. People actually pay to go see Transformers, so yes, people would go to pay to see this. And that is fucking sad.
Remember last year in Twilight of the Blood Freaks when he got those guys at the campfire?
Oh, it's a slasher movie, I guess. Because that's original. No one has ever parodied slasher movies before, especially in 1989 when everybody and his grandmother was parodying fucking slasher movies. Let me show you something. 3 years prior, somebody had already done the best parody of a slasher movie ever. And no, I'm not talking about Friday the 13th Part 6. That's self-parody. What I'm talking about is Monster Squad.
Well, Dad, some of the guys and me were maybe gonna go see Groundhog Day Part 12 tonight. Only if it's okay with you. Is it, please? Tomorrow night? That'll be too late. The guys will blab the entire plot.
Plot? Did I hear plot? Sean, it is a guy with an axe. Anyway, I thought they killed him in the last one.
They did. And he returns from his grave.
He returns from the grave? Sean, he always returns from the grave. If they blew him up, put his head in a blender, and mailed the rest of the pieces to Norway, he would still return from the grave.
That was Part 7.
So how does McGee and Me tackle its parody of slasher films? Like this.
Remember last year in Twilight of the Blood Freaks when he got those guys at the campfire?
What the fuck does that mean? He got the guys at the campfire? I have to assume he killed them, but he just said he got them. Did he catch them like Pokemon? Or did he get them like we got Saddam Hussein?
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Nah, I didn't see it. My folks wouldn't let me.
Man, they don't let you do anything.
Once again, Lois sinks a hole in one. You know, I don't mean to nitpick, but does Nick have a brain? You know, to be fair, this movie is probably rated R, and Nick is clearly not old enough to see it, but that never stopped me or any other kid in the 80s from seeing an R-rated film. Is Nick aware of the invention known as the VCR? Couldn't he just go to a friend's house and watch these stupid movies and not tell his parents? What would the big deal be? And don't give me this God shit. If God is that petty and needs to make a 10-year-old feel bad because their ice-hearted parents won't let them watch a movie, then God needs to get a hobby. When you travel back to the VHS days, you're never sure what you're gonna get. But you always know you're gonna have an exciting ride. I'm not really sure why it is, but for some reason, VHS has all of the world's strangest moments captured forever on video. Those moments that make you speechless, or they leave you laughing on the floor because you go, what the fuck is this? This is one of those cases. This is the reason why I did this review. This 20-second snippet has to be seen to be believed.
Have you seen the commercials?
Oh, yeah.
First, there was Dawn of the Blood Freaks, then Day of the Blood Freaks, then Twilight. But now, as the shadows begin to fall, it's Night of the Blood Freaks!
First, all I have to say is, wow. Second, that was Spaz Attack number 3.
Spaz Attack.
I honestly have nothing witty to say about this scene. I think it speaks for itself. This is one of those moments that you can just put on and people will just be mesmerized. There is no point in going any further with the video because who cares? If you've seen this, you can die happy. There is one thing I would like to point out in this scene. They took inspiration from George Romero's Dead series for the titles of the movies. You have dawn, day, and night. The funny thing is, people may say, hey, there's no Twilight of the Dead. Well, originally there was. Before Land of the Dead was known by that name, it was known as Twilight of the Dead. It's kind of weird that an uber-Christian video would parody the splatter king George Romero. What does it have to do with anything?
Nothing.
That's what I thought. It's the next day, and the kids are talking about the new Blood Freaks movie.
It's in 3D, and the soundtrack to the movie is by Death Threat.
Yeah, you guys remember Death Threat. They were really popular with the kids back in the day. No, they weren't. I've never even heard of Death Threat.
Is by Death Threat.
I am quite sure that this conversation would get Lois arrested and expelled in the era that we live in. Someone would overhear the word Death Threat, and that would be all she wrote.
Oh, I've seen all the freak movies.
Seen them? You starred in them.
Oh, yeah!
Lois
just dropped the Macho Man elbow on her because she just got
burned.
So what do you think? The 12:15 matinee tomorrow.
It'll be great. Think your mom and dad will let you out of the house?
Hey, I can handle my folks, no sweat.
Wonder how this'll end.
Absolutely not.
But Mom!
Bingo!
Why would you want to go see a gross movie like that anyway?
'Cause he's gross.
I already like this. She knows where to stick it. That came out terribly, terribly wrong. We've had some time to get to know Nick. We see his situation. He wants to go see a crappy movie, and his parents are domineering and probably won't let him. So how do you think he handles it?
But Mom, I told you. Shut up!
Nicholas.
Well, why am I always the one that can't do anything?
Nicholas.
Can't do this, can't do that.
One more word out of you, young man.
It's not fair. Everybody else gets to go see it, but I have to sit around with a bunch of
Nicholas!
That's it. Now, you don't talk that way in this home. Go to your room. You're grounded.
Yep, that's about what I expected. Hey, Nick, a free bit of advice. Just tell them you're going to see another film and go see the one you want. God, this kid sucks. You know, at least Nick got the last word. Hey, check it out. Product placement.
Go smell your socks.
Look, kid, your acting is atrocious. I'm just trying to make my point. So cut me some slack.
What are you, some kind of film critic or something?
Well, I try. I may not be as successful as other people. I mean, I think I'm funny. No, I know I'm funny. Besides, you're the one who's grounded.
Classic comeback.
If you're done trying to insult me, let's get back to the show.
Let's take a look at our next clip.
Oh, get it? Sneaky previews instead of sneak previews? Oh, and there's supposed to be Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert, because that's never been done before. By and by, what are they sneaky previewing?
Now this is a real classic. My name is Shay. Spam Shay, Private Eye. She walked in and lit up the room. Her name was Thelma. She was the kind of babe your mom warned you about. But Mom was in Cleveland getting a nose job. She was looking for a bird, a molting falcon. What's the deal with this music, anyway? But the whole thing smelled rotten to me. Well, that wraps up another case for Spam Shade, Private Eye.
Wow, that was lame. Look at some of these jokes. Spam Shade instead of Sam Spade. The molting falcon instead of the Maltese falcon. My personal favorite would be,
but Mom was in Cleveland getting a nose job.
I wonder what McGee thought of this.
You know, They just don't make films like that anymore. Great story, great dialogue, and a particularly great performance by the lead. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give this a thumbs up.
Ah, yes, McGee's oh-so-famous 1 to 10 scale, and he gives it a thumbs up. What? Is that off the scale? Is that the average on the scale? What the fuck does that mean? If the movie is rated on a thumbs up or thumbs down, does he give it a 5? God, this makes no sense. Yeah, I get that that was a joke, but like another wise man once said,
"Where's the joke?"
I will give credit where credit is due, and the writers of this crap actually wrote something somewhat funny.
No way, if that film was any flatter, it would be in the House of Pancakes.
Not good, not great, but on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it a middle finger.
Now, if you want to see a great flick, take a look at the new remake.
Man, I already like this better. The guy's got the Joker's gun from Batman. But I will say the story is really flat. Because like most remakes nowadays, it is an empty hollow shell just there to set up shitty action scenes.
Why not just stick your head in a garbage can or something?
I did. It's called McGee and Me.
Incineration.
It's time for the not-so-great escape. Take it away, Lois.
Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Blue Fox.
Huh?
Remember last week's episode? Remember the plan Cyborg 2 used a free blue box on the dreaded Black Tower?
Yeah.
We could use that.
I can't imagine that this plan is gonna fail, so proceed. It's pretty impressive that they get their own theme music and opening for this breakout. What did they come up with to help them implement this plan? Rube Goldberg machine? Check.
Oh, Marianne, can you hold on? There's somebody at the door.
Ding dong ditch? Check. Does anyone know if kids still do that?
I'm sorry. Where was I? Uh-huh.
Crawling around on the kitchen floor wasn't exactly the great escape I'd pictured.
Crawling on the floor trying to hide behind the island? Check. This is pathetic. His mother would notice him instantly. All Grandma's got to do is turn her head and he's busted. But as bad as this is, it's still better than this. See? How could it possibly get any worse for him?
A few more feet and I was home free. Or free of home.
What on earth? Whatever. Whatever? Are you all right? What's wrong, fella?
Okay, that's worse. Why is she standing so far away? One would think her immediate reaction would be to walk around the other side and check on the dog, like a normal person would, thus spotting Blue Fox wannabe ending this whole thing, but nope, that doesn't happen.
We are the champions, my friend. We
say, for the implausible never to work in real life plan that they came up with, I can't believe it actually worked. This went more smoothly than Watergate.
And the longest war in American history, and they keep harping on this chicken shit.
They run to the theater, and Nick raises an interesting point.
Wait a minute. How are we supposed to get in if we're not old enough?
No problem. Come on.
Hey, look, they ripped off the screaming guy. Sorry, what was the plan again?
2, please. Wait up, Dad. Here's Dad.
Dad! Dad!
Holy shit, this ticket person is a fucking moron. This plan was so flawed and sure to fail, and yet it somehow worked. Lois fucks up and says dad, but then retracts and says it's Nick's dad, and the girl still gives him the tickets. What the fuck? Richard Nixon only wishes Watergate had gone like this.
Fucking Kennedys get away with everything.
Meanwhile, back at home,
Who is it?
It's Mom.
I'm drawing right now. Could you come back later?
Okay.
this whole convoluted idea is based on the idea that someone's gonna ask the right questions. What happens when they don't? Shouldn't she knock and be like, it's Mom? Then the video recorder says who it is, and she's like, you know who it is. And then it says, I'm drawing, and she goes, but I didn't ask that. Busted! What happens if the plunger falls off the door? Silence would ensue, and she would just enter the room. Busted! What happens if she knocked on the door, then plays along with the first question, but asks, why does your voice sound like a garbled tape? It would then say, I'm drawing. Busted! What happens if she follows along, then asks, what are you drawing? Does the tape have an answer? Does the tape rewind and ask the same question? Busted! What if Mom just opened the door without knocking? Busted! What if Grandma died? Busted! What if the house was on fire? Busted! What if Bill Myers wanted to fire Nick? Busted! There you have it. There are endless ways for this plan to utterly fail. We head back to the movie theater, and I have no idea what movie these guys are seeing. Why is the theater red? Why is everyone overacting? Has anyone ever seen anyone doing this in a theater, ever? The movie has no music and no dialogue. It's weird laser noises and grunts that sound like two aliens having sex with red everywhere. They are either watching a test pattern or the film at the end of Clockwork Orange. Why not just have someone screaming, a guy running after them with a chainsaw, and some spooky music? Could it be any more simple than that?
But what you must understand, let the truth
The next scene confirms that Mom is definitely a chud.
Nicholas?
Who is it?
It's Mom. Are you all right? You sound tired.
I'm drawing right now.
Nicholas, it's Mom. What's going on in there?
Nicholas, it's Mom.
What are you doing?
What's it look like? I'm talking to myself.
It looks like I'm talking to myself.
Nicholas! Nicholas?
Talking to my soul.
Nicholas!
Where to even begin? The tape makes a garbled noise, and her first instinct is to think that her son is tired. Tired people don't usually sound like broken tapes. Then the tape rewinds, and she still hasn't put two and two together. It's only after the daughter walks past that she finally clues in that something might be wrong. Like, what the fuck? How can she be that dense? God forbid these kids have any medical issues, they would be fucked.
Let's face it, Mom. He freaked.
Yeah.
Well, in this house, we know who at least has comic timing. I hear a song coming on.
They all said it was great. They all said you'd be cool. Is this all that you thought it would be? 'Cause now you see who's the fool.
Is this song about McGee and me? Because it feels like it is. Check out Nick's range of acting here.
All said you'd be cool.
You gotta love that face. That's my face after watching this shit. About ready to puke chunks. Look at how fast Lois dumps his pathetic ass and barely says goodbye to him. Good job, Lois.
What you see is what you get. So you better make sure that it's heaven sent.
You know, they have proper bins for your 3D glasses, you little shit. You don't just throw them in the garbage. Oh, wait, it's the 80s. Sorry, you still suck, though. Looks like that song came back to haunt Nick as he walks home in slow motion.
All the things that you see and hear, they will come back to you. So be careful what you choose. 'Cause some things you'll never lose.
This song is torturing him. He went and saw a shitty movie. How many times do we have to say this? But this is not the end of the world. Nick should get in trouble for sneaking out and breaking his punishment, not for the movie he chose to see.
Nicholas? Come in here.
Busted! I like how surprised he is that his plan somehow didn't work.
Do you realize what you've done?
What's her deal? He went and saw a shitty movie. She's acting like he committed a fucking crime.
When your mother and I told you you couldn't go, it was for a purpose.
We were trying to protect you.
What are you protecting him from? Adolescent curiosity? No wonder this kid's so fucked up.
Your mind is the most important thing you have. That's why the Lord is very clear when he says we have to be careful what we put in it.
Yeah, that's rational, because the Bible isn't full of weird stories. How about the story where Elijah sends a bear to eat a bunch of kids?
Now, whether you enjoyed the movie or not is beside the point.
That is the point. If he liked it, what's the problem?
Just by going to see it, you've put something into your mind to dirty it, to pollute it.
All I have to say is, wow. I love how angry he gets at his kid, like he has to stop talking midway through because he's so pissed off.
It's bound to affect your life. It's garbage in, garbage out, Nicholas.
As to whether this will affect Nick's life in the future, I fucking doubt it. And to the issue of garbage in, garbage out, well, I heard a wise man once say,
yeah, well, you know, that's just like, your opinion, man.
You've got scenes in your mind that you can never erase. You've got pictures that may be with you for the rest of your life.
I'm still not sure if she's talking about McGee and Me or Night of the Blood Freaks Part 4.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too, son.
With the sermon finally done, we get to see what punishment Nick was given.
No, we are not finished. I still have to haul these boxes from the garage to the attic.
Wow, moving boxes. I'm sure Nick really learned a valuable lesson from this.
I need a break.
Me too, kid. What can we say about this episode?
It could be worse. I could have to sit through that stupid movie again.
And how do I feel about watching future episodes of McGee and Me?
I'm through with watching garbage like that.
I think this image sums up all of my thoughts and feelings on McGee and Me.
'Cause now you see.
Hey, check it out. They have raspberry preserve. Till next time.
It's Night of the Blood Freaks! What you see is what you get. So you better make sure that it's heaven sent. All the things that you see and hear, they will come back to you. So be careful. Choose. There's some things you never lose. stick it in your mind. It's gonna stay right there in your heart.
Remember last year in Twilight of the Blood Freaks when you got those guys at the campfire?